Welcome everybody to the SSE Arena, the grand old lady in Wembley's modern new mini-city. Boxing history is woven into the walls of this place, especially under its old name, the Empire Pool. This is where Henry Cooper famously lost to Joe Bugner. John Conti, Dave Boy Green and John H. Stracey all featured in major world title fights here. And on a September 1980, this is where Alan Minter lost his world middleweight crown to rising star Marvin Hagler. Of course, we live in a different era nowadays, but tonight on Channel 5 we present an old-school title fight. It's a recognised and respected British champion against his mandatory challenger in a hotly anticipated 50-50 showdown between outstanding prospects. But in terms of pedigree, these two could not be more different.
Chris Eubank Jr.
Meet the challenger, the thoroughbred with boxing in his blood. The son of the father, inspired and guided by him. He carries the name, the swagger and the ability.
Look at that excellent combination, he's heard it now! Great uppercut! That's sensational from Eubank Jr. He poses for the camera.
But the champion Nick Blackwell is tough opposition. He has worked his way up from the roughhouse world of unlicensed fighting. He's resilient, powerful and dangerous.
Great right there from Blackwell. Super shots. He's walked right onto the right hand. Bang, bang from Nick Blackwell.
Blackwell wears that British middleweight championship belt with pride, and with one more win tonight, it is his to keep. So an electric main event at the SSE Arena, Wembley. The champion, Nick Blackwell from Trowbridge in Wiltshire, against Brighton's Chris Eubank Jr. for the British middleweight title. And the ring walks are only a few minutes away. And later, more live action. And the latest test for upcoming heavyweight hope, Huey Lewis Fury, up against the experienced American Dominic Gwynn. Wembley is ready for what promises to be a very special night, an event that many observers have predicted could be a contender for Fight of the Year. And welcome everybody to the big fight live tonight on Channel 5, hotly anticipated indeed. It's Chris Eubank Jr. back in the ring, but if anybody's overlooking the immediate task tonight, they are perhaps misguided, because there's so much at stake as Nick Blackwell defends the British middleweight crown here tonight, including the potential for him to go home with the Lonsdale belt for keeps. But somewhere in the background, of course, is the man joining Richie Woodall and myself here tonight. It's Billy Joe Saunders, the new WBO World Middleweight Champion, and of course with inside knowledge like nobody else on the two men who'll face off here in the ring in just a few minutes from now, because you've beaten both of them, haven't you?
Yeah, I've beaten both of them. You know, it's going to be an interesting fight. I think that Nick Blackwell's got to come out, start very fast. Funny enough, I just went to the back room and listened to a few tactics and did what I thought is what his coach is telling him. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to watching this fight. I think Nick Blackwell can pull it off. Would
it be a big mistake by Eubank Jr. to overlook the job at hand tonight because of the natural rivalry between you two?
Most definitely. Listen, he can't take his eye off the ball. For Nick Blackwell, this is his biggest fight ever to date. You know, this is his world title fight. He's come from nothing. He's built his way to where he is now for the keeps of the Lonsdale belt. Every fighter's dream. I've done it, and I know what he's going through now. And you know, he's gonna. I think personally, there's going to be a bit of an upset tonight.
Richie, could we be in for a potential classic? I mentioned the lineage of this British middleweight title belt.
Yes, most certainly, because you've got two boxers with similar styles. They both like to impose their style on the opponent. They're both front foot fighters. Blackwell especially, I would call him an out-and-out pressure boxer. He forces the fight at close range and mid-range with hooks and uppercuts. But Eubank Jr., a little bit more variety with him. He can box at range, but the overriding instinct for him is to go forward. And so when you have two guys like that, you have one or two things. They either tie each other up, or you have a good fight on your hands, and I think we'll have the latter.
More from Richie and from Billy Joe in just a moment or two, but let's meet the two men who'll face off in the ring here at the SES Arena in just a minute or two now. And first, from Chris Eubank Jr.'s point of view, why do this now? Remember, he has fought at world level already.
This is something that I've dreamed about for the longest time, since I started boxing at the age of 15, becoming a British champion, a true British champion. The opportunity was there, so I grabbed it with both hands, and then after that we'll move on to world title honours.
If you think you're that good, go and fight for a world title, you know. They're trying to make out that the British belt means so much to them. That's just a cover-up because they know they're not ready for the world title. He usually fought, he had 2 fights. He had Billy Joe and he had Spike. He lost one of them. You know, and the rest he's hand-picked, you know, and to look good against. He's never been in positions what I'm going to put him on Saturday.
There's always a threat, but as far as him outpointing me, outboxing me, outgaming me, being the stronger man on the night, never.
I think it's all an act. I don't think he's been himself. You know, he's just, you know, doing a lot of negative stuff to get people talking about him. You know, like his old man. That's what Eubanks do.
If you want to talk about, I'm only here because of my name, because of who my father is. It doesn't matter what name you have. If you can't fight, you can't fight. I can fight.
I'm tough, I'm strong, I'm fit. He thinks he's going to get me out there early. When he hits me one of his cleaner shots when I'm standing there and I'm smiling at him, he's going to have a shock. You know, he's hit me with his best shot, I'm still there and I'm still throwing. Then we'll see what sort of fighter he is.
He said he was going to make me quit, make me give up. And, you know, it was so absurd. I was so shocked to hear someone say something like that, especially coming from a man like him, that I told him, you know, if you can do that, I will give you my purse. That's how confident I am in the fact that nothing is going to get in my way. Nothing's going to stop me from winning this title, and nothing is going to make me quit. It's impossible. So if you can pull off that miracle, you deserve my purse.
Well, there's confidence for you. And remember, of course, they have sparred an awful lot of rounds, but this is the real thing here. We're just a few minutes away from the first bell here at the SSE Arena. We'll hear from Billy Joe and from Richie on how both men can win this fight when we return here. The big fight live tonight on Channel 5. What a prospect here tonight. Nick Blackwell all set to produce the performance and the fight of his life in his 3rd defence of the British middleweight title. He's so proud of holding it, and it would hand him the belt outright. A moment in history for him beckoning tonight. May also propel him onto the world stage, where Chris Eubank Jr. has been already remembered, but he stops by at British level tonight because he wants that title in the family. Even his dad never won a British title, a winner of World Championship belts at 2 weights, but Chris Eubank Jr. still on the way up, of course. The man who's our special guest alongside Richie Woodall tonight is Billy Joe Saunders, who of course has faced off with Eubank Jr. and with Blackwell so far. First on Blackwell, why has he suddenly clicked over the last 18 months or so? What's happened?
You know, I think that it's not that he's clicked. He's always been a good fighter, but I think that he's starting to see his goals now, what he's set. You know, and he's a very good, hard-working young lad, and you know, I think that he's gonna grow with every fight. And after the John Ryder fight, that just boosted his confidence all along.
Richie?
Yeah, his strengths are his pressure boxing. He likes to get up to his opponents. He's got a great engine, remember. You know, he went 12 rounds with Billy, and he's learnt a lot since then. But his strengths are getting up close. He did well here against John Ryder for the British title. What's this for a right hook there? And another one. That's a great shot. And then he keeps the pressure on. Good right hook, left hook. Before this contest, a lot of people had Ryder winning, that was going to win this one, but he certainly upset a lot of people's thinking in this victory. And it was a good victory, but it just shows his strength getting up close. And when he especially gets people on the ropes, that's when he's at his strongest.
I don't think I'm revealing a secret between us, Richie, that you've already told me today, that you think it could be very close, but there is one vital point. Blackwell has to keep on the move if he is to give Eubank Jr. a problem tonight.
He's got to keep on the move, but well, Paul, he's got to move his head on the inside, most certainly, but what he's got to do is he's got to force the fight, pressure fight. Billy, I'm sure you'll agree with me, this is where he's at his strength, isn't he? Getting people up against the ropes, switching the attack from body to head. He's good at that.
Well, when that sort of stage here, you know, I'll box both of them, but Eubank will throw back from there and we'll trade with him. So Nick Blackwell's got plenty of head movement like he did there, you know, in the middle of that sort of distance what he's at there.
He keeps the works going, doesn't he? Sustains the pressure. terrific, Paul. Just keeps it going, but occasionally gets caught on the inside. We've just seen it the last shot there with a right uppercut, and that could be a very, very important punch for Chris Eubank Jr.
Is Eubank Jr. potentially susceptible to pressure?
You
bossed him for 6 rounds.
I do not rate Eubank. I do not rate him. I honestly hope Nick Blackwell knocks him out cold. I do not.
Really?
Yeah, I don't rate him. You know, he is what he is. He'll never be a world champion in my eyes. And I really think tonight there could be an upset on the cards.
Richard, is that because you don't like him, or you don't rate him?
I don't like him. I don't think he's world level because he's been mandatory for a world title but chose to fight for.
Well, at least perhaps in fairness, Billy Joe, you know, he has progressed, he would say, since he fought you. And what have we seen in that sense, Richie, recently?
I think with Chris Eubank Jr., I think we've seen a lot of speed from him. He can box well at distance, but I think he's got an overriding emotion of going forward. He likes to boss a fight. Here, look, against Spike O'Sullivan, he really gets into gear. Uppercuts, right hooks, he's enjoying it. He enjoys inflicting pain on his opponents, young Eubank does.
If you look at Spike's not as fast as myself or as Nick Blackwell. I don't think Spike's going to be Blackwell's going to be setting him down and letting him tee off like.
Is that how not to fight this fight?
You've got to have movement with him. Movement and work rate is the key to beat him. And I think Nick Blackwell can bring that tonight. If he just pulls off the right game plan, we can see an upset tonight on Channel 5.
Some would say, of course, from Eubank Jr.'s point of view, Richie, he's got so much ability that he can actually show a bit, try a few different things in fights, different styles, that he's got all that.
Yeah, he has got all that. If he's allowed to do that, it's the pace of the contest which dictates if Chris Eubank Jr. can actually do that. That's why what Billy's saying is, with Nick Blackwell, he's got to set a fast pace. He's got to he's got to smother Eubank's work. If he can do that, but he's got to avoid the shots going in, Paul. He's got to keep the head moving. If he can do that, then he may give Chris Eubank Jr. problems. If you give him time and space, then yes, he really shines because he is quality, I think.
He will also shine against a lesser opponent, against a journeyman who can't fight. He will shine very good against someone who can fight or box, who's got a boxing brain. He can't shine at all.
We've already spoken to the dad tonight, and the dad at pains to say he is still a work in progress, but he has got probably more ability than the father had. Do you see none of that?
Well, at the end of the day, his dad's trying to sell him. Do you know what I mean? That's all his dad tries to do, is sell him to the public. Personally, I think Nick Blackwell's going to beat him tonight, and I'm really rooting for Nick Blackwell. I hope he knocks him out.
Richie?
It's a close one, it really is. I think Nick Blackwell early on in the fight is going to get hit. He'll get hit hard, he'll have to move his head. I think the first 3 or 4 rounds are going to be crucial for Nick Blackwell to get over that hurdle. Once he pushes then Eubank into the later stages, that's when his style may really tell on Eubank.
The time has come for the prediction, 1 word each. Richie?
Eubank points.
Billy Joe?
Blackwell.
Wow. See what I mean by rivalry? It's divided British opinion everywhere, not just at ringside here at the SSE Arena. The time to find out is now. All set here at the SSE Arena, Wembley. Nick Blackwell against Chris Eubank Jr. for the British Middleweight Championship of renown. Commentary from Richie Woodall alongside Dave Farrer tonight. And first to our Master of Ceremonies, Paul Booth.
Channel 5 and Hennessy Sports yet again deliver another night of championship boxing. A very good evening and a very warm welcome to the SSE Arena, Wembley. Time now then for our main event of the evening. This scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing for the British middleweight title. Firstly, to make his ring walk, it's the challenger. From Brighton, introducing the next generation, Chris Eubank Jr.
He wants to be more than just the son of the father. And does that journey really start here tonight for Chris Eubank Jr.? He has dreamt of being British champion since he was 15 years of age. Challenger tonight, of course, to Nick Blackwell. It's worth reminding you of that because the way people are talking, Eubank is the prohibitive favourite, but he has to perform here tonight to make Richie his dreams come true.
He does indeed, but ever the showman, isn't he? He's following in the background there, waiting for the music, a little bit frustrated, but Eubank Jr., he's focused. He's doing a bit of shadow boxing there. But yeah, I admire him actually for not going and not pursuing a world title fight, because he would have had to wait, Dave, for Danny Jacobs. It could have been months, and he wants to keep busy, so he's coming for the British title against Nick Blackwell, and so you've got to give him credit for that, because he could have hung on and tried to get a world title shot, but this is what it means to him to win this British title. We could do with a bit of music, Dave, I think.
A man who dances to his own tune comes into his own rhythm here. Chris Eubank Jr. on his way. What a night for him. I tell you as well, the majority of the support here is for Nick Blackwell. People fancying the underdog, people making that journey from Trowbridge and all around. They've latched on to the romantic story of Blackwell. But will it be Eubank Jr.'s night? Of course, flanked as ever by his father, Chris Sr. Little nod to the celebrities around the ring there. And now, Chris Eubank Jr. with the pose, with the confidence. Does he have the performance to match them? The pantomime villains in the ring.
And now, to make his ring walk for the third time as British middleweight champion, ladies and gentlemen, from Trowbridge, Wiltshire, introducing Nick Bang Bang Blackwell.
Well, Nick Blackwell has come up the hard way. Unlicensed fighting in his hometown. Used to like a fight with nightclub bouncers in his teens, and then fought all sorts behind closed doors. No amateur pedigree, Nick Blackwell, and he was on the verge of becoming what they call an opponent. He was matched very, very tough, very early. But that performance against John Ryder to rip the British title has thrown him towards the big time. He is the underdog, but when you talk to Nick Blackwell, he convinces you that he believes, Richie, he can win here tonight.
That probably stems back from the spars they've had. They've sparred a few rounds, Blackwell and Eubank, in the past, and he really believes that he's got Eubank Jr.'s number. And when you have that confidence, Dave, then who knows? Just eyeing each other now. Tremendous stuff. But yeah, it's a rocky story for Nick Blackwell, it really is. No amateur experience at all. He's learned the hard way, sparring all around the gyms. I've actually seen him spar Carl Froch, I've seen Eubank spar Carl Froch, and they both give great account of themselves. And they've learned the hard way, especially Blackwell.
Well, Tyson Fury has the belt. Billy Joe Saunders, as well as being our pundit, is in the ring as well. Everyone is with Blackwell here. Eubank needs to keep his cool. There he is, the world champ, leading in Nick Blackwell here. The only man to beat Chris Eubank Jr. Trying to back Nick Blackwell as the second man to do that.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This bout brought to you by Hennessy Sports and scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing for the British middleweight title. This bout sponsored by Maxi Nutrition, Ladbrokes, the SSE Arena and the Modelling Network. Officials at ringside have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control. Steward in charge, Mick Collier. Area representatives, Des Rees and Dave Wilson. Inspectors, ringside Jeff Barrett, Gary Roberts, Brett Bowles, Myra Barrett, Edward Rose and Tony Payton. Timekeeper on the bell for this bout is Bob Edgeworth from Bromley, and should the bout go the distance, it will be scored by our 3 judges ringside. They are Terry O'Connor from Birmingham, Ian John Lewis from Gillingham and John Keane from Wellingborough. Upon the sound of the bell, the 3rd man in the ring is the man in charge of this bout, introducing our star referee, Victor Loughlin from Paisley, Scotland. Time now then, ladies and gentlemen, to find out who will be the best of British in the middleweight division. Boxers, it's time to go to work. Ladies and gentlemen, the corners are in the ring and they are ready. The officials are ringside and they are ready. Some of the viewers joining us live and exclusive on Channel 5, and the fight fans ringside in the SSE Arena, Wembley. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this party started! In the blue corner this evening is our challenger with his trainer Ronnie Davis. His official weight for the contest, 11 stone 5 pounds 10 ounces. He brings to the ring a fight record of 21 victories from 22 visits, 16 inside the distance. He has 1 defeat on his record. He's wearing the black shorts trimmed with silver and boxes out of Brighton. Introducing the next generation, it's Chris Eubank Jr. And across the ring stands our proud champion in the red corner with his trainer Gary Lockett. On the scales at the weigh-in, 11 stone 5 pounds 4 ounces. 23 visits to the ring as a professional boxer, 19 victories, 8 inside the scheduled distance, 3 defeats and 1 draw on his record. Tonight he's wearing the black shorts trimmed with gold. This evening he makes the 3rd defence of his title. Entering the ring as the reigning, defending British middleweight champion. He is the fighting pride of Trowbridge, Wiltshire. Referee Victor Loughlin now with his final instructions to both boxers.
Okay, gents, you've had your instructions in the dressing room. Remember, obey my commands at all time. Defend yourselves at all time. God bless. Touch gloves. Touch gloves.
This bout scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds of boxing for the British middleweight title.
They didn't touch gloves, there's no love lost. This is a real grudge match. Forget about the spars, forget about the talk, and forget about the mind games. It is those two in the ring. Who's going to start the quicker? Eubank the favourite, Blackwell with all of that self-belief. It should be quite a night here at the SSE Arena at Wembley.
They won't have to go looking for each other. These paired, Dave. Eubank working with the jab. And Blackwell will soon realise that to have success against Eubank, he's got to get close to him. He's got to close the gap down. And that's what I'm expecting from Blackwell early on. And Eubank, jabs are going to be very important early doors, fast and sharp. But Blackwell has got to move his head and close that gap down.
Now Jack Arnfield troubled Nick Blackwell with that uppercut, and Eubank is already looking for it. Who's going to blink first here? Feels like that kind of night. looking to the body in these early stages, just feeling each other out. And again, that uppercut from Eubank, left to the body, was a good shot too.
Blackwell just taking them, or trying to take them on the arms and the elbows, but there's a couple of shots getting through. Seen Blackwell already. He's took a few shots and now he's realising he's got to get close. It's going to warm up this one very early on.
Well, Eubank caught Blackwell with the uppercut there, and Blackwell stood and screamed at him. He is hyped up here, Nick Blackwell. That's a good combination, good accuracy from Eubank, then the left from Blackwell. Blackwell has spent much of this first round on the front foot, and Eubank in that corner. He needs to get away from there. And he does. With flash and flourish.
Good response from Eubank there out of that corner. But 2 or 3 of those shots were certainly blocked by Blackwell. So in the gym you can see what they've been working on. Gary Lockett will have done his homework. Getting his boxer to keep that guard nice and high as he approaches. Look, blocking the shots. It's good defensive work. And Eubank is going to have to find the quality shots through the guard, and certainly doesn't want to be in that corner.
There's a good response there from Nick Blackwell. It's a tight opening round, and already action in this eagerly awaited British title fight. Well, let's take a look at some of the action from the opening round here, Richie.
Yeah, it's a close opening round, isn't it? Good right uppercut. That may have been the difference. Well, I couldn't split him in that round. I thought it was an even round.
Blackwell has had plenty to say, had a lot to say at the end of that first round to Eubank Jr. Normally starts slowly, Nick Blackwell, but that hasn't been the case here tonight, as Eubank looks to pepper him with that jab.
Probably need a tempo change from Blackwell here, Dave. By just staying at distance there. That's certainly suiting Eubank's pace. See, he's just teeing off with that jab. I think Blackwell's just got to go through the gears a little bit. They had a look at each other in that opening round. Now it's time to go to work for Blackwell, and he needs to force the pace a little bit more.
We don't know the answer to the question whether they have the power to hurt each other. It'll be fascinating if either fighter lands clean here. Eubank again into this corner, and Blackwell trying to pile on the pressure. Not always accurate, but still good work there from Nick Blackwell as Eubank responds. Body shot there from Eubank. Blackwell trying to make himself a moving target here.
Landed a couple of good jobs, Blackwell, as well at distance. And again, look, fair play. You never really consider Blackwell as a standoff mid to long range boxer, but he's doing okay with that jab. Maybe that's something that Eubank didn't anticipate.
It's almost a mirror image of what we expected in the early stages of this. Good measured boxing, good work from Blackwell. Just getting through here, and Eubank under a little bit of pressure in this second round. Lovely right to the body, then that uppercut from Eubank.
Just looking at Gary Lockett in that corner. He's urging Blackwell to come forward to use the jab. And again, he's having some success. That was a nice slip there from Eubank. Just slipped and just sent in a left up to the body. And I think Eubank's relaxed guard. It's encouraging Blackwell to come forward, but that was better from Eubank.
Blackwell pokes out his tongue at Eubank, suggesting he hasn't hurt him. Good combination from Eubank, then the left from Blackwell. Both starting to land here. Eubank avoiding the combination from Blackwell. Really good fight starting to develop here. Good from Eubank at the end of the round.
Too long. He's waiting too long. He's there to actually take it.
Well, that's the advice of Chris Eubank Sr. in the corner. And here's some of the action, Richie.
Yeah, there was some good work there from Eubank across his body, but I like the jabs from Blackwell during that round.
Blackwell has been on the front foot. He hasn't been intimidated. He has fought so far like the champion. But that needs to continue. And it was interesting to listen to the corners. Gary Lockett feels Eubank's tiring and he wants Blackwell to establish his own jab now. And that's exactly what he's trying to do here. Eubank trying to find a way through. Just for a moment, I think some of the crowd thought Eubank was hurt there, but he was ducking and swaying.
One of the problems that Eubank's got here, Dave, is he throws some good combinations, but straight after he throws those combinations, then he just drops his hands, he just relaxes slightly. Watch, see as he moves away, his hands are low, and that's how Blackwell is returning fire after the exchange from Eubank. Then Blackwell, he's just trying to get him out on his way out. And on the ropes there, that's not a good position to be in from Eubank.
Well, he's found himself in the corner, but he's also found a couple of those uppercuts there, Eubank. And he puts pressure on Blackwell again, another great uppercut. Eubank is warming to the task here in the third.
We said, didn't we, that the Eubank uppercut could be very, very important in this contest, and there he just demonstrated why everyone thinks that the Eubank with this right uppercut could do some damage.
He did damage against Spike O'Sullivan. Is he getting through? Is he starting to slow Nick Blackwell down? Went for the big right hook and missed by a long way there. And then the left to the body was a good shot from Eubank. And they are goading and taunting each other.
Yeah, different strategy here from Blackwell, just standing at range, using his jab. And again, good work from Blackwell with the jab, but a bit of blood coming from his nose. That was definitely from that right uppercut.
Yeah, blood from the nose of Blackwell, but he loves a scrap. Fighting man, Nick Blackwell, and he will take a lot of shifting. Looking for those chopping rights there. Combination again, though, from Eubank. Some of them bounced off the gloves, but that left got through.
Good work there from Eubank, switching the attack from body to head. Hooks and uppercuts going in. But this is where Blackwell just needs to press. He's just had an exchange there. Eubank, that was a good shot there from Blackwell, lovely jab.
And then Eubank responding with the uppercut again.
Well, he does some good work, Eubank, but then he switches off a little bit.
And look at that trade there. They both landed almost at the same time. Terrific fight here at Wembley.
That wasn't the ideal, was it?
It's fascinating to hear Chris Eubank Sr. in the corner there, saying he's trying to prove how hard he is. Richie, you can do what you want.
Super combination there. Left up, right up, left up, and then the right uppercut coming through. Another left up there. Eubank's round.
So round 4. Nick Blackwell, the champion in those black and gold trunks, against Chris Eubank Jr. A man who believes that he is going to go all the way, but he wants this title, and he's trying to grab it here at the start of the fourth. The uppercuts landed, then the right, Blackwell fighting back.
I said to you earlier, Dave, that the first 4 or 5 rounds are going to be so important for both boxers, but in terms of Blackwell, he's got to avoid shots, he's got to move his head more. I said this earlier, Eubank is very strong early, he's very quick, and he's starting to catch Blackwell now with big shots. It's going to test Blackwell's chin, most certainly.
He made Blackwell miss a couple of times there, Eubank. It is a ferocious atmosphere in this place, and ferocious in the ring as well. Uppercut again there from Eubank.
And at the moment, Eubank is being allowed to work at his pace. He lands some good combinations, and then he goes for a walk, he goes for a little rest, if you like. That's when Blackwell has got to jump on him. Got to force the pace.
Blackwell trying to do just that here. Great right to the body there, combination to the body from Eubank.
Yeah, double left hook as well, from body to head. Good work, but then you see he goes for a walk, he has a little bit of a rest. That's when Blackwell has got to get up to him now and make him box and fight when he doesn't want to. Up the work rate when he goes for those walks and just switches off a little bit.
Look at this there, standing and trading almost here. Blackwell's nose bloody. He doesn't care about that. He's faced a lot worse than that in his pre-professional days.
The pace is suiting Eubank down to the ground. Blackwell has got to quicken it up a little bit. He's got to go through the gears and box it at a faster tempo, Blackwell. His feet are too slow. Just coming forward, look, trying to block shots, but shots are getting through.
Blackwell's face a mess as he comes forward here. Eubank so accurate. Left jab again there from Eubank. He's been more comfortable in this fourth round, Chris Eubank. But remember, Blackwell tends to come on strong the longer a fight goes on.
But it's if he gets through these first few rounds, Dave, because this is going to take a lot out of him, but by taking these shots, it's going to tire him. The big punches again going in from Eubank.
Eubank is so accurate. Again, the right hook, the left uppercut that time. Blackwell trying to respond here.
The trunk, retrieval 4. You got me? It's enough. Okay. Good.
Brilliant moments there in the corner with Chris Eubank Sr. Round 5 here then. Nick Blackwell in those black and gold trunks needs something here against Chris Eubank Jr. There's Richie Woodall's scorecard. Got Eubank just ahead here, Richie.
Yeah, I think the last couple of rounds he's starting to take over a little bit. I think his combinations have been much better. I think Blackwell has been slower with his feet and wants to trade, but he's taking too many shots. Blackwell, we know he's a tough kid, Dave, but he's got to get through these rounds without taking so many punches and then try and take Eubank into the later rounds. But he's taking too many for me.
And it was fascinating in the corner from Chris Sr. He said, attack the trunk and the tree will fall. He wants it to work to the body. But as he was giving his lecture, the son turned to him and said, enough. And went out there and did his job, and he's doing his job here in the 5th with those uppercuts that are finding a way through. Against Arnfield, Nick Blackwell said the uppercuts didn't hurt him. I think these ones are doing.
The eye-catching shots are coming from Eubank, especially on the inside with those uppercuts. That's a bit better movement with the head from Blackwell, but he's got to do that, Dave, when he's in at close quarters, when he's in at short range, when he wants to land the big shots himself. He must then think about moving the head, either before he throws or just after. He's got to avoid them coming in.
Blackwell with a chance to win that Lonsdale belt outright tonight, but it feels like a long way away. He's trying to rally here, and Eubank with a little shrug of the shoulders and the dance. How can you do that with that pressure? Eubank feels now that he's in control. Work to the body, uppercut. Blackwell under big pressure here. Eubank Jr. trying to turn it on. Blackwell trying to fight his way back off the ropes. And Eubank is now gesturing to Nick Hennessy and Tyson Fury ringside. Eubank feels that he has this. He wants to fight here, Eubank.
Yeah, and gets caught with a
shot. Got a little bit too cocky and complacent there, Eubank. He's on the attack. Look, it's just slowed him up a little bit. That was a great shot from Blackwell. He got too overconfident and gets caught with a big punch. Now it changes. Good work from Blackwell, but before that, Eubank, that was fantastic stuff on the inside there.
Blackwell coming forward now, and he caught Eubank again. Has Eubank just got overconfident here as Blackwell now starts to land? Left hook there from Blackwell.
Just changed the pattern of the round, didn't it? That one shot. I think Eubank's done enough to win the round, certainly, but it was a good shot from Blackwell.
Terrific action again there. Well, we could take a look at Gary Lockett and Nick Blackwell here, but some more of the action, Richie.
Yeah, tremendous stuff. Left uppercuts, right uppercuts going through from Eubank. Both hitting the target, keeps him on the ropes here and just keeps the attack going. Then he gestures to someone at ringside. He's too confident at this stage and then walks onto a shot. Let's have a look. It's coming up. There it was there. Look, his gum shield nearly comes out. He recovers, but he just got a little bit too complacent. Another angle here, coming forward, bang, there it was there. It definitely caught him, good shot.
Corners.
And as for the gesturing ringside, you can call it theatrical, you can also call it disrespectful. I guess it's up to you, sitting on your sofa. Great entertainment here though at the SSE Arena.
Well, what that one shot has done, Dave, it's given now Blackwell the confidence. Look, he's up on his toes. He's trying to force the fight now, Blackwell. It's given him some glimmer of hope because he was just slipping away because Eubank was throwing the combinations and hitting the target. He was on top. But now it's different. It's changed. Look, the complexion of the contest changed completely.
Blackwell was under massive pressure. As Eubank's clowning just released that valve. Blackwell landing the right there. And Blackwell will take immense confidence from still being in there and still fighting here, Richie. And there's another right from Blackwell.
Yeah, just trying to catch Eubank after he's thrown that left hand now. He's trying to throw that right hand counter. And he's having some success. Eubank's got a very low left hand, a relaxed guard. And Blackwell's just found a way through, hasn't he? And he's forcing the issue with that right hand.
Again, he's got him backed into that corner. But Blackwell has to do something to hurt Eubank, to discourage it. Again, that uppercut from Eubank, that's been his punch of this fight.
Yeah, it's good work as well, because he's using his left shoulder. He gets close with the left shoulder, and so he's shielding his own target area, especially his chin, and then he whips the left uppercut through on the inside. Clever work on the inside from Eubank.
Again, Eubank into the corner, trying to encourage Blackwell onto it. He is playing with fire here, Eubank.
Yeah, he nearly walked onto a right hand there, you know, from Blackwell, wasn't too far away.
Approaching the halfway stage of this, and it's been every bit as good as we thought it would be. The quick feet, the fast hands of Eubank, the heart, the fighting spirit of Blackwell, and the skill too.
And that's a good position for Blackwell to be in there, but he's just let him off the ropes there, Eubank. Blackwell should have forced the issue. Got to think of defence as he's coming forward, got to avoid the shots. But at that pace again, that's suiting Eubank. There's that left shoulder, you see, just blocking his chin.
But if Blackwell comes on strong as he tends to, if he's looking to come on strong in the second half of this fight, he is still in it. Depends how much he's got left, because those body shots, Richie, will be taking a lot out of Blackwell.
Yeah, big shots downstairs.
Eubank looking for the uppercut, and he can't miss with it at the moment. Closing seconds of round 6.
Rounds. You've got to work
working 2s and 3s and 4s. When he works with 2s and 3s, you've got to hit him with 2 or 3 back. Keep walking at him with that nice stiff jab. Don't throw it too far. Listen. Get the mid-range, throw it, and keep it.
Round 7.
We're over halfway. Nick Blackwell, the British champion here, defending his title against Chris Eubank. Eubank maybe just ahead here. But can Blackwell find those reserves of strength he's shown us in the past?
Dangerous shot. He's got to use the cross guard, Blackwell. Just bringing his arms across to block that uppercut.
This is brutal now from Eubank. Right at the start of round 7. Blood again to the nose of Blackwell. Look at this from Eubank. Landing multiple uppercuts. It's blurring hand speed. Incredible this from Eubank. Opens up on Blackwell. Trying to finish it right here.
Yeah, Blackwell's got to get off the ropes, Dave. When he's on the ropes, his feet are square. And Eubank's finding the target time and again through the guard. The uppercut's the shot. He uses hooks across his body, but then that right uppercut is getting through. Even though the hands are nice and high, Eubank brings the shot through the middle. It's accurate, and look at his face now, Nick Blackwell.
I think the nose might have gone here for Blackwell. That's going to make breathing difficult. They said to Blackwell in the corner ahead of this that Eubank was tiring, his legs were slowing. Blackwell had better hope that's true. Blackwell is still there. Now he responds. He's got Eubank on the ropes here. Where is Blackwell finding this from?
Tremendous stuff from Blackwell, but Eubank again, look at that right uppercut. Eubank just feeling the effects of the onslaught earlier on in the round, but now he's recovered again. He's got a second wind again in this round. He's targeting the body. Big shots downstairs. Tremendous contest, Dave.
Eubank is landing that uppercut at will. But Blackwell stays on the front foot. He will not buckle.
They've both taken big shots, but you just feel that Eubank, they're the eye-catching punches, especially the right uppercut.
Look at this now from Blackwell.
Yeah, good jabs from Blackwell. He's trying to crawl away back into this contest now with that jab.
And Gary Lockett was urging him forward as well there, Richie.
It's just a matter of time for you, waiting for Eubank then to throw the heavier shots.
Is Eubank just starting to tire a little? He's used up a lot of energy, but he shakes the head and he gestures to the crowd again.
So clever, Eubank, with that left shoulder. He really is. It's a lot of accuracy in his work. And it's a Eubank round for me.
No, listen to me now.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights, Richie. It was a blurring attack from Eubank.
It was a tremendous start to the round from Eubank. The shots were going in, right hooks, left hooks, working the body, left uppercut there. It's the right uppercut also. I mean, this was fast and furious at the start of the round, but Eubank really went for it. I think he went for the stosh in this round, but there's that left shoulder, and then he uses that right uppercut through the guard. A bloodied face from Blackwell, strong, tough kid, but a Eubank round.
Do you like taking these uppercuts or what?
Did you hear that, Gary Lockett? Do you like taking these uppercuts or what? I think he's telling him to move his head. Still Blackwell stares Eubank down here. And look at this. Victor Loughlin has told Chris Eubank Sr., get out of the ring. Get down off the apron. Is Blackwell going to get stronger? He has to hope that Eubank is going to slow here.
Very surprised, actually, David, that Blackwell hasn't tried to block some of these uppercuts with that cross guard. Just bring the the forearms across the chest and try and block that right uppercut. Too many have got through. And again with Eubank with that low left hand, Blackwell got to quicken those feet up and try and catch him with that right hand counter. But again,
with the right and then landing with the uppercut again. Little burst here from Chris Eubank.
The pace again is suiting Eubank, isn't it?
Just knocked Blackwell off balance there. Neither of these men down, remember, as a professional. But now Eubank starting to unload on the corner here. Blackwell needs to respond here. He's blocking a lot of these, but he needs to fight back. Does Eubank believe he's close to the stoppage?
Going for the stoppage here, Eubank. And he has exerted a lot of energy there. And this is when Blackwell has got to try and get back at him now. This is when he's having his rest.
And still Eubank was talking down there to Tyson Fury and talking to Saunders and the Blackwell team. Blackwell with that slapping left hook. Some of the Blackwell fans around the ring saying that Eubank's tired now.
Yeah, they may have a point. Like I said, he's done all his work again there. He put so much effort into that onslaught. Now he's tired. But it just doesn't take him long to recover though, Eubank. He's a fit lad.
And he made the point in the pre-fight press conference. And Ronnie Davis said he trains 6 days a week. He said it's 7, Davis. He is very, very fit. And Blackwell is going to test that.
He's slowed down a little bit, hasn't he, Eubank?
Yeah, the jab was just a bit slower there. He didn't double up with it.
Bit of a pattern emerging now, Dave. He seems to start each round very, very quickly indeed. Really goes for it.
Blackwell landing to the body and then to the head. Good work this from Nick Blackwell. Eubank trying to look as if he's still in control. And Chris Senior into the ring.
If the referee doesn't stop it, then I don't know what to tell you. But I will tell you this.
Listen to this.
If he doesn't stop it, and you keep on beating him like this, 1, he's getting hurt. 2, if it goes to a decision, why hasn't the referee stopped the fight? I don't get why. So maybe you shouldn't leave it to the referee. But you're not going to take him out to the face. You're going to take him out to the body. Okay? Right, do what you want to do. Right? Do it your way. Okay, mate? Do it your way. Your way's working.
Good contrast in the corners here.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Gary Lockett trying to give specific advice, trying to encourage his fighter. Chris Eubank Senior saying he was baffled that it hadn't been stopped.
Dave, there's more blood on our notes, I think, than on the ring. Bit of blood come from the nose of Nick Blackwell onto our table.
Well, we're keeping you very close to the action here on Channel 5 tonight. Certainly feels like it, it looks like it, judging from Richie and my notes. But Blackwell is still in there fighting, and that's the main thing. Not quite sure how he is. Some of the punishment he's taken, but can he try and reverse it? Can he turn the tide here?
Well, it's been fought at a terrific pace, hasn't it? And both these boxers tremendously fit. And during a 12-rounder like this, you're going to have maybe a round where you just take your foot off the gas, have a bit of a breather. Maybe this is the round. We're already a minute into it, and not a lot has happened in this round compared to the rest.
Eubank was complaining that he was hit round the back of the head. Victor Lawton having none of it. And he has refereed this impeccably. I wonder if he thought about stopping it, if it even crossed his mind with that Eubank pressure in the previous round. Blackwell comes forward again, but he's not hurting Eubank. He's not really landing. He needs to do that.
He's not landing with quality shots, is he? And I think Eubank's the one who's took his foot off the gas a little bit. I think Blackwell has sensed it, but he's just not catching him with the quality work. And he's behind for me in this contest, Blackwell, so maybe this is the round that he should be stepping it up, because Eubank, I think he's having a rest round here.
Blackwell has to recognise that. Try and put him under pressure. Minute to go in round 9, 3 to go after this. Eubank again looking for that uppercut. Don't think there can be any doubt that Blackwell is behind here. As he's starting to think he needs the stoppage. Or is his corner thinking that at least?
Even in this quieter round, Eubank's just doing enough, Dave, isn't he? Look, the jab's going out. Blackwell not returning fire. Not with anything of quality.
Jab from Blackwell, but really good sharp jab there from Eubank. And then he tried to land the huge left hook.
Oh, look at the left eye of Blackwell though, David, swelling above his left eye.
Blackwell's face is a real mess here, and I think they've earned each other's respect now.
Close round again, but you just haven't done enough work. Close round for the taking, he's knackered, he's on the back foot, and you're not putting him under pressure. You've got to
You
start
can hear the voice of Gary
right
Lockett
now.
here.
This kid
Nick
is
Blackwell's trainer.
all the snaps gone out of his punches, right? This was the plan. Right, this was the plan, to take him there now, right? The kid's feet have slowed, his jab has slowed, his punches have slowed. He's reluctant now to tee off. This is where you've got to, come on, dig in. This is what you wanted your whole life, isn't it? Right, we've been thinking about this guy for a year. We knew you weren't going to beat him on the outside, so you need to get closer and you need to work him over, 2s and 3s, and then you're backing off and you're letting him...
I want you to take this guy out. I don't want to go to a decision.
Message pretty clear from both corners. But Gary Lockett is outstanding in the corner, Richie, there. This was the plan. Now is your time. Can Blackwell do it for him? There's the scorecard there of Richie. 4 rounds clear. You've got Eubank now.
Yeah, I think he's starting to pull away, Eubank. And Blackwell most certainly needs to step on the gas here, listen to his corner, but it's what he's taken earlier on in the contest that's going to affect that. We said, didn't we, his chin will certainly be tested tonight, and it has been, and he's come through it, but it takes a lot out of you, Dave. And now he needs to up the work right here.
Eubank again has Blackwell backed up. Blackwell's the one who needs to be piling on the pressure, but he's feeling it here. Chopping right, though, from Blackwell just discouraged Eubank enough. Look at that again, though, from Eubank. The accuracy of that uppercut. He's mixing it well to head and body as well here, Eubank.
Yeah, big shots downstairs. He's trying
to left to the body.
Blackwell just waiting and looking for openings. See if he can just sneak a shot here and there. But Eubank
landed at the same time there. Both tiring. Blackwell desperately trying to find something here. And he did there. Just a little chopping right again from Blackwell on the inside.
Just when you think that he's wilting a little bit, Blackwell, he comes back and finds a shot.
But look at the left eye now of Blackwell. It is closing here.
Yeah, it's really swelling up, isn't it, above his eye. And Eubank, he senses victory. How confident he is now.
Well, as Blackwell comes forward, Eubank starts to dance. Not sure it's necessary.
Couple of good jabs there from Blackwell. Oh,
now he wants to take a look at the eye here. The doctor's going to get called over, Richie. And the eye is swelled up a but look at the swelling.
Because all the people booing, but if the kid can't see, then you've got to ask for the doctor's opinion here. That swelling is pretty bad, and the referee's got to protect the boxer. So if that's impairing his vision, then a decision's going to have to be made. But it's good refereeing, that is.
Well, the doctor has the pressure. The doctor takes a look, and he's whispering in the ear of Victor Loughlin, and it's over. It's over. Chris Eubank Jr. is the champion of Great Britain. Stopped because of a swelling above the eye of Nick Blackwell. The showman beats the yeoman. Eubank Jr. is the champion, Richie.
Yeah, a tremendous contest we had there, Dave, but I thoroughly agree with the referee there. He had to ask the doctors for the doctor's advice on the injury, and the doctor's literally saying, listen, he can't see out of it, and if he can't see out of it, the kid would have boxed on. We know he's tough, we know he's strong, but if he can't see out of the eye, then he had to stop the contest. Tremendous battle though that was, it really was. Nip and tuck, but Eubank was just going away with it, and a very, very impressive performance from Eubank indeed.
It was a tough fight for Chris Eubank Jr. Nick Blackwell so brave, trying to hold on to his title. But in the end, Eubank Jr., who was, we think, well ahead in the fight anyway, just had too much for Nick Blackwell. And the referee called the doctor over and called an end to it. Blackwell will fight on, of course, and he has much in front of him, but Eubank Jr. too tough and too good for him here tonight. And whatever the method of the result, it's the right result, Richie.
Yeah, I think so. I think Eubank boxed very well indeed. I think Blackwell had moments in the fight. He was always in it, let's face it. But we said earlier, didn't we, it was those first few rounds where he was going to be taking a lot of shots, and he did take a lot of shots, and they've obviously built up, and the eye has swelled and has forced the stoppage. But who knows, Blackwell may have come on later on in the contest, that's what they'll probably say. But trust me, Dave, when you're taking big shots like that, it really does take a lot out of you, and your engine is always going to be a question mark over whether you can finish a contest strong because you've taken those heavy blows early. But all credit to Blackwell. He would, like I said, he'd have fought on for 15 rounds with one eye, but it was the right decision.
Well, Billy Joe Saunders now is talking to Eubank Jr. He didn't like Eubank Jr. goading him during the fight, and that was unnecessary. Some of the antics he could do with putting away.
Well,
the MC's in there somewhere.
Inside of the SSE arena, I'm sure you'll agree, both of them are professional boxers, have delivered a fabulous bout of boxing for the last 10 rounds. Please, everybody put your hands together and show your appreciation. Timekeeper at ringside, Bob Edgeworth, records an official time of 2 minutes 21 seconds of round number 10, the official end of this bout. Referee Victor Loughlin has stopped the contest on the advice of the ringside doctor due to a badly damaged left eye on Nick Blackwell. Therefore, your winner and new British middleweight champion, the next generation, Chris Eubank Jr.
We talked about the tradition tonight, the marvellous fighters who have held this British middleweight title over the decades, and both tonight have done honour and justice to all that. Absolutely memorable. That's what it's for, and tonight it is in the possession of the Eubank family for the first time, but everybody here will remember what Nick Blackwell has contributed to a truly memorable British middleweight title fight. So much still to come. The thoughts of Billy Joe Saunders. It might get quite lively at ringside, I fancy. Richie Woodall will give us his big fight analysis, and another big fight ahead at heavyweight. It's all about the Furies, as you're probably aware by now. And not just Tyson Fury, Hughie Fury looks to continue his march against Dominic Gwynn live on Channel 5. All that still to come. Welcome back to the SSE Arena, everybody. Chris Eubank Jr. has won the British middleweight title belt, but there is a measure of concern for the dethroned champion Nick Blackwell, who has been receiving medical care and attention in the ring for the last 5 minutes or so, and he is leaving the ring where he's contributed so much tonight on a stretcher. There is some concern for his welfare. He has been receiving oxygen from the paramedics in the ring, and obviously getting the salutation from the crowd that he so richly deserves. So I think we just need to temper our assessment of what we've seen in the ring by concerning ourselves first with Nick Blackwell's welfare. He put so much into that tonight, Billy Joe, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He put a lot of effort into it. I knew he would put a lot into it. Or maybe, maybe he could have been pulled out maybe a couple of rounds earlier. He was down on points, but like I say, to be fair, the best man won on the night. I'd like to see Blackwell do it better tonight. Wasn't his night? Sad.
It's so difficult to know, though, isn't it? And a championship fighter we heard Gary Lockett between the rounds. We've worked for a year for this.
Yeah.
It's so difficult. A judgment call, and obviously the referee is in the middle of it, and Victor Loughlin seemed to do the right thing, going to the medical experts to judge whether he should be allowed to continue. But calling that right is an art really beyond our knowledge, isn't it?
Well, listen, we're in a dangerous sport. It's good to have people, paramedics on the side.
Absolutely.
Like that. I mean, to take them sort of their natural procedures. He's okay, Nick. He'll see him put his thumb up, but they've got to lay him down like that. A hard fight, you don't know whether he's going to get out the ring, fall over, hit his head or anything. So they've led him down. And, so he's definitely all right, though, because I see him. So that's the main thing.
And I have to say as well, Richie, of course, obvious concern from Chris Eubank Sr. We remember what happened in his own career, of course. And you mentioned the standard of medical care that we enjoy in British boxing nowadays, largely arising from what happened on occasions such as the Michael Watson night.
Exactly. It's good to see. It's great to see, actually, that what's happened just in the ring here is a totally different set of sort of circumstances from the last one with Eubank Senior, and hopefully, like Billy says, he put his thumb up. I think he's okay, and I think everyone was very professional in dealing with that.
We'll do our very best to bring you any medical update that we can on Nick Blackwell. Of course, he's left the arena here with all our good wishes. Richie, what a fight it was.
Yeah, tremendous contest, and we always said, Paul, we spoke about it earlier, that for me, Nick Blackwell, tremendous courage, character, but it was those early rounds where he had to avoid shots, which he didn't. The right uppercut in particular was a tremendous shot from Chris Eubank Jr. This evening. But listen, Blackwell was a true champion. He was always in it, and like a true champion, they say, don't they, a champion leaves on a stretcher sometimes, and that's what he's done.
Indeed. Now, I'm just going to thank you for the moment, Billy Joe, because we're going to ask Chris Eubank Jr. to come and join us here at ringside. Winner on the night, of course, and he's got that title belt over his shoulder here. I'm going to ask you to step out of the ring because it's going to be easier to talk to you if you can do that. Can you do that? Thank you very much. Come and sit on the ring apron. Magnificent fight tonight. Was it very hard for you?
Every fight is a hard fight. The preparation, the dedication you have to put yourself through to go to get into the ring and perform for 12 rounds. It's a grueling career, but the rewards, make it worth it. It was a great fight. Blackwell was a hell of a competitor, this is what British boxing needs: two warriors coming together and putting it all on the line for the fans.
Well, that happened. We obviously don't want it to end with one of the men going out of the arena on a stretcher, and we are awaiting an update on Blackwell's state of health. But I put it to you, after the things that were said in the build-up, you must have additional respect for your opponent tonight.
I have respect for anybody who gets into the ring. Sometimes, in the heat of the moment, you say things leading up to the fight. It's just how it is. It's nothing personal. It's all business. I wanted the man's belt. I've always dreamed of becoming a British champion, and tonight that dream became a reality. But all credit to Blackwell.
Can I ask you, did you think it would be stopped before it was?
I was hitting him with some hellacious shots, and the referee saw fit to let the fight go on. Looking back at it now, maybe he should have stopped it a bit earlier, because, as you saw, Nick had to be taken out on a stretcher. But this is boxing. This is he made a decision, But again, it was a great fight.
We were listening to you between the rounds. I thought maybe from about the 6th or 7th, you were willing it to be stopped.
Of course, I mean, it was, but then I'm not a referee. I know how hard Junior hits. I know he's a very dangerous man, and you know it happened. But I can't criticize anyone. You know, Nick Blackwell has a magnificent heart, a huge heart. He just didn't have the ability. He just didn't have the ability to actually match his heart with his skills.
And just on the way it ended and the post-fight scenes here, were there awful echoes from the Michael Watson night for you?
Absolutely, which is why, I mean, but the referee said stop banging on the apron. I did shout you should stop the fight, but then it's not my place to say that, and I don't want to alienate anyone. He has his job to do, and he did it. I mean, Nick Blackwell showed he had a huge heart and a huge ability to actually do his best to actually get a win. But unfortunately, the best man won, and you know we have a British champion who I believe will.
Have that world flag over his shoulder, wouldn't it?
This is something I've been working my whole career towards. Now I'm in the position now to be able to call myself British champion, and now we're moving on to bigger and better things. I want a world title shot. You know, I'm in position to do so, whether it's against Billy Joe Saunders, Daniel Jacobs, any of these guys. That's the title I want.
I don't, sorry to cut across you, but I don't think anybody would dispute that you have not earned that tonight. It takes all the winning, and you've certainly done your bit to earn it tonight.
It was a pleasure fighting on Channel 5. For all the new viewers that have you know, come across me tonight, I'm on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Chris Eubank Jr. JR. You can follow my career. I'm coming for that world title shot this year.
Thank you for the moment. Well done to you all. And Ronnie Davis still involved. The old firm still goes on. Well done to all of you. We have to stop it there for just a moment because there's more live boxing to come here in the ring tonight. The heavyweight Hughie Fury, the latest off that other dynasty involved here tonight. He's next. Welcome back to the SSE Arena, everybody. There is a bit of a pause. We were hoping and expecting our second big live fight on Channel 5 to have taken to the ring by now. Hughie Fury at heavyweight, unbeaten to date, the cousin of Tyson Fury, all set to go here tonight. But there is a delay, and that is for the best of reasons, because the anaesthetist is still in Nick Blackwell's dressing room tending to him, and quite rightly there will be no continuation here at ringside until Blackwell's welfare is dealt with, and he's in the best of hands, we know that. But Richie, I think it's only right that that takes precedence over everything else here.
Absolutely, that's the main thing, that's the main issue. We'll wait as long as it takes for the Hughie Fury fight, but Nick Blackwell has put in a tremendous performance. It was a great battle. He was always in it. I thought he fought with a lot of heart, a lot of courage. He showed a tremendous chin, he really did, because he took some punches flush paw. So yeah, strong kid, a good champion, and I think we'll definitely see him again, if not in a British ring, going on for world title honours one day.
But as all you fellows know, Richie, sometimes you are just a bit too brave for your own good, aren't you?
Well, like I said,
in the heat of the moment.
In commentary, if the referee would have said, right, box on, Blackwell would have fought right till the very end with one eye, if necessary, because he is a true fighting man. So you've got to give him a hell of a lot. He's a true champion.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, so I got to echo what he said. Blackwell would have gone on all the way. You know, I'm happy it was stopped when it was. The doctor come there. You know, because not so much that he was taking a few shots, but he was still throwing back. So he had the energy to throw back, but he couldn't see out one eye. And obviously, you know, when that late stage of that sort of fight, when you can't see out one eye, that can be dangerous. So I can see why the doctor said no more.
If you can put your personal issues with Eubank Jr. to one side for a minute, and I know that's not easy for you, what did you make of Eubank's performance tonight?
Look, I can't sit here and say, you know, run down, he boxed terribly, because he boxed a good fight. He boxed a good fight, you know, but Nick Blackwell tonight, you know, I think they instead of coming forward letting punches go, they come up right a tight guard and letting Blackwell tee off on him and catching him in them big shots. That's what caused the cut eye. You know, the art of boxing is to hit and not get hit. And you know, I'll give him credit for tonight, but you know, someone to make him look stupid, you've got to box rings around him.
Did you see anything different from Eubank Jr. tonight that you had not seen before?
I've not seen nothing different than Eubank than what I've seen when I boxed him. Only muscle. That's the only thing I see. Is muscle. Every time you see him, is more muscle. That is it. And that will eventually. That's the reason why he goes a little bit dead for as well. But no, for me personally, and I'm saying this, I'm putting my feelings aside. That for me, he lacks that boxing ability. He's a good fighter, but he's not a good boxer.
Just repeating, forgive me, Richie, that the paramount concern remains the welfare of Nick Blackwell, who is still getting medical attention. That's why we're not able to continue with the live boxing, because the anaesthetist is still tending to Blackwell here at the SSE Arena. But in the bigger picture, we know this is a business. The outcome in terms of the victory for Eubank Jr. tonight, it's probably not a bad thing for Billy Joe Saunders' career, is it?
No, but it's not. But Blackwell's a friend, and I genuinely was rooting for him.
Yeah.
But Blackwell, Eubank won, so yeah. But listen, he's had his chance to fight me, not once but twice now. Sat down the table and offered a lot of money, nearly £1 million, and refused it.
And that's for the rematch, just to clarify. There were rumours that you were close to a deal for the rematch.
Yeah, and he pulled out on nearly £1 million he was getting. So, and to come here and fight tonight for nowhere, a patch on that, it shows me that he's either lacking confidence or he knows he's not ready for the elite.
Do you think that he's in a sense paid a compliment to you because you held the British title belt and he felt, I don't want to reach at world level without having that on my CV too? Do you think that's a possibility?
That he says that his dad didn't win a British title and that's the reason why he had to win it. But to me personally, I think that it's up here. He knows that if he gets beat again, that's more or less his career, more or less over, because he's got to stick to British level for a long time. So he's working his way in a clever way. His dad's been around the sport, but in his own head he knows that he's not ready for the likes of the Jacobs and the Saunderses.
Did you see the possibility of him losing that fight tonight?
Most definitely. I was sitting there, me and Tyson was sitting there, and I was picking holes in him all around the table. I mean, if I boxed him again, I'd be convinced that I'd beat him with my eyes shut.
What did you see then? To your benefit?
For my benefit, very flat-footed, lunging forward. He's working his uppercut, but, Nick Blackwell was leaning on him and he was letting him trade. I would never stand there and let someone tee off on me, ever.
Does Eubank Jr. have the power to cut it at world level? You've mentioned some of the world title holders and yourself, high-quality men.
He will never be world champion, in my opinion. And if he had the power, when Nick Blackwell was filling the rounds and he couldn't see one properly, he would have knocked him out cold. If he did have the power, if he had the big punching power. I don't reckon he has, no.
Richie?
I think he starts most rounds very, very quickly, and he boxes in spurts, Eubank Jr. If you watch him, he will really sustain an attack, go for a stoppage sometimes it looks like, but then it's a bit of a bluff, because then if he hasn't stopped his opponent, he'll then go for a walk. And what he's doing, and his old man was brilliant at it. He used to go for a walk and get in a rest. And that's when probably Nick Blackwell just didn't have the experience then to notice that and to jump on it. But that's what he does, Eubank. Boxes in spurts, really goes for it, looks great, starts the rounds very, very quickly, then goes for a walk, goes for a swagger, looking around. But he's all the time then, he's actually getting vital seconds of recovery. But someone like Billy Joe wouldn't allow that to happen. And what Billy Joe's saying about, he totally outboxed Eubank Jr. and he did in periods of the contest. But you've got to work with what you've got. Now, Nick Blackwell, with all due respect to him, is not the quality of boxer as Billy Joe Saunders, because this is a former Olympian, GB boxer as an amateur. He's a tremendous talent. Now, Blackwell's strengths are in a different area. He's front foot pressure. He hasn't got the skills Billy Joe's got, but he's got strengths in other areas. Billy Joe outboxed Eubank Jr., but Blackwell couldn't do that tonight. He had to try and do it his way, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough.
Did you see anything new from Eubank Jr. tonight?
No, I didn't. Eubank Jr. is what he is. He's very fast, he's very accurate. I think he's very, very clever with his left shoulder. I said about in commentary, brings his left shoulder round, sort of blocks his own, shields his own chin, and then he whips the right uppercut through. Very, very clever with it. Sometimes, he goes for a walk, like I say, plays to the crowd a little bit. He's clever. There's a bit of his old man in him, I think, but he can fight, Paul. But I didn't see anything different. He is what he is. I would like to see a rematch with Billy Joe. I'd like to see Eubank maybe go on and win another version of a world title, because it would be a massive pay-per-view contest.
I would love to see him do it myself, because obviously it's better for business, but he's not good enough to win a world title. Nick Blackwell's never had he didn't have no amateur fights. He's come straight through, turned straight from the pro. I've had that grounded in me since I've been 5. I've had 86 amateur fights. I boxed at elite level at 16 to 18. Olympian. I've got that ground in me from day one. When you got that in from day one, that goes in some good stead for when you turn over. And then I've picked up some good wins, good belts all the way through. I've done it, southern area, Commonwealth, British, European, world. That's, you know, you pick a lot of experience up on the way. And I've got too much experience from in that sort of classy areas.
At this stage in your career, how do you measure yourself against the rival title belt holders?
Well, listen, I'm boxing Max Burzak on the 30th of April, couple box. I'm not looking at him as he's no Golovkin or nothing like that. But that's the reason why in the summer that Eubank is parked up at the minute, because I want Golovkin now. You know, Golovkin's the one that I want to see what I'm made of. Because he's the best fighter on the planet, let's face it. Let's see what Billy Joe Saunders is made of. Let's fight him, let's see if I am made of something. Do I know? Oh, listen, I believe deep down I am. Just chuck me in there. Let's
do
see
you
if
need to do a bit more in terms of maybe hoovering up another version of the world title in order to bring yourself more onto the Golovkin radar? Is that a possibility?
Well, you know, it is, but it's very hard at the minute because, you know, different promoters, you know, and then they're doing all these catch weights, 154. I'm a 160 fighter. You know, we was talking about this before, Richie, in the gym. I'm not a fan of the catch weights. You know, if you're going to fight at 154, 155, you're a light middleweight. You're not a world middleweight champion. 160. If you win the title at 160, then that's your weight class.
Well, so what about this Alvarez-Khan fight in that respect, where, you know, it could be 154, it could be 156? What do you think about all that?
Well, I say Khan can beat him as long as you use his speed. And
is the catch weight in that case to Amir's advantage? I
think it's more Alvarez's advantage because Khan's got to come up where he's not used to coming up that sort of much, where Alvarez, when they get in the ring on that night, will be a lot bigger man.
I think the big question as well with the Khan-Alvarez fight is how long Khan can keep it up, because at the end of the day I think he'll be fast over 5 or 6 rounds. If this was a 6-round fight, it's Khan's fight all night long, but it's a 12-round fight, so for 6 or 7 rounds Khan's probably ahead against Alvarez, but it's in the straight, it's the championship rounds. Is he going to be strong enough to keep a naturally bigger man off him for 12? That's the big question, Paul.
In terms of going back to what we saw from Eubank Jr. tonight, Richie, and compared to the Saunders performance, where I think general agreement was he started way too slowly to give himself a chance against Billy Joe, will he ever do that again in a big fight, or has he now learned that lesson?
I think he's learned the lesson. Remember, before he fought Billy Joe, he hadn't gone 12 rounds before, but I think he started the contest against Billy Joe slow, but at the end of the day, this fella started quick. Let's give him credit. He totally outboxed him for the first few rounds when Eubank was just trying to get to grips with the contest. Okay, yeah, he hadn't gone 12 before, and maybe he was saving a little bit back, but he started far too slow, especially at championship level. He didn't. He started quick, and I don't think he got the credit that he deserved in those early rounds, because everyone said Eubank started way too slow. Yes, he did start slow, but this fellow was on it. He was on the ball. He was on the money from round 1.
Do you feel you got the credit for it all?
Listen, I don't feel I get the credit for nothing. Winning the world title, I don't think I got the right credit for. But with the Eubank fight, you know, people go on like there's a big difference. We're both the same age. You know, it's just that I've put the work in when I was younger, so I've got that bit more experience. You know, if he would have come in and started fast, he would have got hurt quicker. He would have got cut up bad, probably bruised up. See, he had to wait his time for me to flag a little bit, then to try to get his work doing what he likes doing. Because for the first 6 rounds, I wouldn't allow him to do anything. But I got a bit complacent and I let him in the fight. But I'm very happy the fight went that way because, you know, it's a big rematch. But as I say, I've got bigger fish to fry at the moment. You know, me and Frank, we've been talking about, you know, the Golovkin fight, my manager and that. So, you know, it's still... That's the fight I want, the big fights at the Wembley stadiums, be involved in the big fights. I'm fighting at the Copper Box because, you know, the football stadiums, there's nothing available now. You've got to wait until the summer so we can get them booked out and hopefully get them filled, packed.
But there's still a little bit of you. For all you've achieved, that marvellous run of title belts, you've missed nothing out on the way up, but you're telling us tonight that you still feel slightly underloved by the British public.
It's not that.
Is that the case?
I'm not sure if it's underloved or not, but I think people tarnish people with the same brush a lot. I think, you know, from my background, I don't know what it is, but people need to say there's good and bad in everybody. You know, I'm a good fellow. You know, I'll help anybody I can. You know, but I feel, but I'm not finished. Maybe when I finish doing what I'm doing and I prove a lot of people wrong, there's still a lot of doubts to prove wrong, then perhaps I might get something. But I haven't got a world champion dad. That's the difference.
Sorry, say that again.
I haven't got an ex-world champion dad. That's the difference.
We know who that dig is aimed at.
Paul, we need Billy Joe on Channel 5, that's what it is.
That's the one. Get me on Channel 5. Get me a job here.
From where I stand, well, you're quite good at this too, incidentally, but from where I stand, this man is doing it all right.
He is doing
and
it all right.
doesn't need to rush it, actually.
Yeah, and obviously he's setting his sights on the Golovkins. But as soon as he won the world title, then people start saying Golovkin straight away. But he's, for me, there's no rush. He's still fairly young, and he's improving all the time. And when the Golovkin fight comes around, when it does, then he'll be in a better position. To go straight into a Golovkin fight straight after he won the world title, I didn't think was going to be the right thing to do. I think he needs to learn a bit as a champion. He knows he can still improve, and then box Golovkin when he's at his peak and when he's ready. And that's not straight away in this game, Paul. You learn with experience, and he's still got a little bit to learn. But when he's learned that experience, then yes, he should go for Golovkin.
And how far do you feel you are away from your peak?
Listen, I'm 26 now. I reckon my top peak is when I'm going to be probably 28. But what people don't realise is when you win the world title, you don't know what confidence that gives you. It's put me on a new level. So I'd like to get in the best possible shape I can, and put me in there with the elite fighters, and let's see where I belong.
Thank you for the moment, Billy Joe, and
Thank you
again,
very much.
thanks to you, Richie.
Thank you.
Please rejoin us here on Channel 5 again in just a few minutes' time. I just want to update you before we go to the break on the welfare of Nick Blackwell, who was so valiant in attempting to defend his British middleweight title tonight. Nick Blackwell is now on his way to hospital. Remember, the fight stopped in the 10th round. Chris Eubank Jr. has left with the British middleweight title. The Lonsdale belt, which Blackwell hoped would be his to keep tonight, is not to be. The concern remains for the longer-term welfare of Nick Blackwell, who is on his way to hospital as we speak. Please rejoin us from the SSE Arena in a few minutes. Welcome back to the SSE Arena, everybody. The boxing has been brought to a halt here tonight. I'm very sad to have to report this because of concern for the welfare of Nick Blackwell, who was so valiant in attempting to defend his British middleweight title here tonight against Chris Eubank Jr. Blackwell has been taken to hospital amid concern for his welfare. He needed treatment in the ring, and there is no possibility of any more live action in the ring here while the anaesthetist is still tending to Blackwell, and we completely understand and concur with that. But we have the opportunity here to show you one or two clips from earlier in the evening. A popular Londoner back in action tonight, Frank Buglioni, beaten in a world super middleweight title attempt some 6 months ago now, but back in action under new trainers, Don Charles in the corner, and at light heavyweight against Oleg Fedotovs.
He has 45 visits to the ring.
So Frank Buglioni here in the white and gold shorts, looking to reinvent himself tonight. He'll hope for better opposition than this in the future, although Oleg Fedotovs is tough, he's proved that, but stopped early at middleweight by both Callum Smith and indeed Chris Eubank Jr. Buglioni should be far too good, but still a test, Richie, when you move up like this.
He's moving up obviously to light heavy now, but he looks very, very determined, as Frank Buglioni. Obviously in his last contest against that Fedor Chudinov, the WBA super middleweight title.
Oh, God, left hook there from Buglioni. What a statement this is. Fedotovs is shaky. He's done well to stay on his feet there.
Yeah, only Callum Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. have stopped this fella early over here. But here, I mean, Buglioni, he's really going for it, isn't he? I said he looked determined as he came out. Wants to make a statement here, no doubt.
Well, having fought for world title honours at super middle, he doesn't want to hang around at light heavy, and he's not hanging around here. Good right to the body there from Buglioni, just trying to mix up the attack. Right hook there as well gets through.
Fedotovs is still not recovered. Still not recovered, taking big shots
here. Up, Richie. Terry O'Connor's had a look here. Fedotovs throwing back there. Still over a minute left, and Buglioni piles on the pressure and stops it sensationally, because that is a durable opponent in there. Fedotovs is trying to plead his case, but he's unsteady on his legs. And if you wanted to make a statement at a new weight, Richie, well, he's just made it.
Well, he's only been stopped 7 times in the 24 defeats that he's had, Fedotovs, but that was a good performance there from Buglioni.
He went to work straight away behind his jab, but it was the accuracy in his work, especially with the right hand, and then the left hook also hurt his opponent. And that final right hand right at the end there, Buglioni, a slashing shot across the target. Super punch indeed, and Fedotov's, he's just speaking to him there to say, yeah, you caught me with some big punches. Let's have a look here. There's that jab, that's a super shot. Then there's a short right uppercut on the inside from Buglioni. But there's this left hook to the body, look, so he's hurt him downstairs, switches the attack with the left hook to the head. He's not recovered, great right hand and left to follow, and another left hook. The referee nearly jumped in there, but watch this for a right hand. That was that slashing shot I talked about. Super punches, pins him on the ropes. Terry O'Connor rightly called it off.
Yeah, it was a good bit of refereeing for which he deserves real credit there, Terry O'Connor, because he knows that Fedotovs can hang around. Doesn't mean he has to hang around. And there's the celebration from Frank Buglioni. A new chapter in his career starts right here, right now. Just wait for the official announcement here for our MC Paul Booth.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Timekeeper Bob Edgeworth at ringside records an official end of the contest at 1 minute 40 seconds of round number 1. Terry O'Connor, our referee, stops the contest. In his professional opinion, he deems that low-legged Fedotovs is in no position to defend himself. Therefore, your winner from Enfield, London, it's White Guy, Frank Buglioni!
So that obviously one of the good news stories of the night here at the SSE Arena. Let's bring you what happened in one of the show openers tonight. A fascinating young man, Yusuf Safa, Afghan refugee who has found a new life in Great Britain, now based in Bexleyheath, finding his way in boxing at super featherweight. 5 straight wins up against Leyeva Stefanov earlier here.
Round 1.
So 6 rounds of super feather here between Yusuf Safa in the blue and Sloveja Stefanov, our visitor from Bulgaria, in the gold and black. We last saw Safa in November in Bristol, where he stopped Yuri Yaros in the 4th round, just overwhelmed him really with body shots after being down in the 2nd round himself. He was then going to fight 3 weeks later on December the 5th, but couldn't due to a shoulder problem, and it was that kind of a year for him last year really. He had fights scheduled in June and July, but they didn't happen due to niggling little injury problems, and having spoken to him a couple of days ago, he feels that this year is a year really where he needs to make the breakthrough. It's listed as super featherweight this, and he weighed in at 9 stone 5, but featherweight will be the weight that he campaigns at. He can make it comfortably, may even drop down to super bantam, I was told at some stage, but we just need to see him out more regularly, Rich.
Absolutely. He's had niggling injuries, but you know, so do all boxers. But what's very important for him is that he boxes on a regular basis, and having 2 contests last year is nowhere near enough. He's got to have much more boxing in, you know, during his career, in terms of the early side of his career. He's got to be looking at probably 7 or 8 contests, if not more than that, a year. Because the best boxers are the busy boxers, Andy, at the end of the day. So that's what, and he knows that himself.
He just caught a right hand there, Safa. Kind of windmill style that Sloveja Stefanov has got at times. 5 fights, 3 wins, 2 defeats on his record. Those 2 defeats have both been in the UK, stopped by Josh Kennedy and then by Matthew Chander, who beat Jamie Spate in a cracking contest for the Southern Area Super Bantam just a week or so ago. So not been successful on his previous 2 visits to these shores, Stefanov, but gave Safa something to think about there.
Yeah, in the early stages, Safa's just not struggling, but he's just having a look at his opponent, and Stefanov, I think the movement is making Safa just think a little bit. He's always on the move, Stefanov, isn't he? He's going from side to side, and so Safa, he's just having to think about just nailing his opponent with a shot, getting him to hold his feet. Now he's targeting the body. We've seen that in his last contest, as you mentioned, Andy. He can sink those body shots in, and that's probably the tactic against a moving boxer, is to hurt him downstairs and slow those feet down.
Paul mentioned his backstory. Safa came to Britain at the age of 5 from Afghanistan. Ended up in Bexley Heath. His dad wanted to get him into sport, and he was a martial artist himself. And they decided on boxing as it had a wider appeal. Started at 11 at Eltham and then moved to Body Shots in Crayford, where he trains under Lee Wilkins. Now goes again to the first round. Sapper just missing with a big overhand right at the conclusion of that 3 minutes. No, I didn't catch too much of that, but Stefanov, I think, will be pretty encouraged by what he managed to produce in that opening round. Lee Wilkins just telling Sapper to just settle down, really, just calm down. He doesn't need to load up too much, doesn't need to look for the big shots, the big finish in that first round. I think that kind of anxiety to put on a show is a result, really, of not having boxed all that much. It's frustration. You'd be keyed up and looking forward to fight night so much. They can maybe at times get the better of you slightly. That's a nice hit hand there though from Sapper, thrown off the back foot. That was a very smartly delivered shot.
Yeah, and he threw it as Stefanov is trying to land this right hand. So now he's having a go here, Stefanov. Nice reply from him. Sapper again, he's just got to settle down. Oh, good right hand over the top, super punch.
And it just seemed to stiffen the legs there slightly of Stefanov. It was high on the head, maybe just caught him slightly on the temple. There's a little bit of blood just coming from the nose of Sapper, no problem whatsoever. We saw it in the corner between rounds as well, but he caught Stefanov standing tall there. Again, he just looks to shoot that right hand through.
Yeah, and now's the time he should switch downstairs now, because Stefanov is expecting the head shot, so he should whip a couple of body shots in.
Just walked onto a cheeky right hand there as he came forward, Sapper.
Yeah, well, I think Stefanov, his best shot is that right hand. He seems to throw it and then he sort of moves off to his left. Sometimes he throws it as he's actually moving, which is always a dangerous thing, to be quite honest, but he's got away with it up to now. But you can see Sapper just edging closer, looking for that right hand over the top. But I'd like to see the body shots going now as well.
He's just beginning to get that jab working for him as well, just thrown from the waist. He's landed it 2 or 3 times in the last minute or so, and then again just lets go with that big winging overhand right.
Stefanov there just signalled to the referee that one of the shots was a little bit low. See, that's a good right hand downstairs. That's what I'd like to see, because that's going to slow the feet down to Stefanov. Then he can switch the attack upstairs.
He has struggled for sparring for this fight, he told me, Sapper. He's been to the iBox to spar Danny Carr, has been working with Ben Jones as well, the WBO Intercontinental featherweight champion. He's out again on April the 9th. Defending his title he won against Martin Parlagi in a thrilling contest. And there's that right hand again from Sapper. He sees it coming from away back there, Stefanov, and did ride it to an extent, but it still made its way through.
Oh, good shot again. And I'll tell you why this is, Andy. It's because Stefanov has slowed those feet down. Now he's back on his bike, but he's slowing down his Stefanov with the footwork, and that's just allowing Sapper just to plant his feet a little bit longer and whip a shot over. Good round for Sapper.
Right at the end of that round there, Sapper just turning southpaw, standing southpaw, and the bell go before he could get anything done.
Round 3.
So into the third, they're scheduled for 6 at super featherweight. Yusuf Sapper in the blue, Slovenia Stefanov of Bulgaria in the black and gold, and some good work done by Sapper in that previous round, particularly with the right hand, got the jab working as well. Just beginning maybe to find his timing. Lee Wilkins in the corner saying that his timing currently is off. He has had a few moments out of the ring. It's had a knockdown. Is the referee going to signal out a knockdown? He is. He's counting at Stefanov. A left hand came in there from Sapper. I'm not sure how solidly it landed. His legs certainly did get in a tangle there, Stefanov.
Well, I think Stefanov, the way he reacted there, he just walked onto a shot and saw the momentum actually took him to the floor, didn't it? But I think there was definitely a left hook that went in from Sapper there. But a touch unfortunate, I think, Stefanov, to receive a count. But like I say, it was the momentum that actually took him to the floor. A little bit off balance. But Stefanov has got to keep the movement going. He was awkward in that first round, especially because he was hit and move, and Sapper just couldn't nail him with the shot. But his feet are slowing down, and that's bringing Sapper into it. He's listening to his corner. He's closing the gap a little bit better.
and cutting the ring space off. There you see slipping to the side there with the feet on cue.
He's looking for that backhand, that right hand again there, Safa. Again, just turned southpaw briefly about 30 seconds ago. Didn't really let his hands go as he was in the southpaw stance.
Stefanov has got to move more to his right hand. He's got to work. That's it. There you go. Move away from that right hand punch, and that makes Safa just adjust his feet again. If Stefanov keeps moving to his left, he's going to walk onto that right hand over the top. And Safa there just adjusted, didn't he, with that left hook. So Stefanov probably got problems either way here. There's a little sign with that left hook from Safa. There it is again. But the right hand over the top from Safa, for me, is his best shot.
Just look for the uppercut there. For the first time, really, with that right hand, Safa. I said that he struggled for sparring for this fight, but he's picked up some excellent gym work in the past. At just 15, he was sparring Carl Frampton. He's not been in with Frampton for a while, but has done a number of rounds throughout the course of his career. And there goes Stefanov. Two-handed assault there from Yusuf Safa, and I'm pretty sure that that is going to be that. Terry O'Connor just bends down and pulls out the gun shield.
The red corner, still undefeated as a professional boxer, from Bexley Heath, Yusuf Safa.
So another good win for Yusuf.
It's a wonderful story, heartwarming stuff, really, this young man, Richie. What do you think of the raw talent? And I know he is still raw.
Yeah, I think he's got to work on certain things, but nevertheless, you're right, he has got raw talent. I think he's got a good jab. He's boxing, remember, a weight division above his normal weight. But yeah, I thought his footwork was good. He struggled early on because the kid kept moving, but eventually when he found his range, found his jab, whipped that right hand over the top, and also showed a few signs that he's got a good left hook. There's certainly plenty to work with there. So yeah, I quite enjoyed watching him box.
I think one of the themes of the night earlier was also some outstandingly good corner work tonight. The advice he was getting in that fight, Alan Smith in one of the other fights.
Yeah, that's good to see, isn't it? I always like to see a calm corner, Paul, because trust me, when you're in that ring, there's so many things going through your mind. You're hearing the crowd, you know, the exchanges are probably fierce with your opponent. You get back to the corner and you just want a bit of a rest. And what you don't want is someone shouting in your ears. So just calm, cool instructions. You get the water, you take on board the information. I thought a lot of the corners here, Alan Smith in particular, I thought was very good, giving good information of how to get to the opponent, good instructions, but not too much, and nice and calm, which is important.
What about Frank Buglioni? Could this be the restart for him now?
I think so. I think I was very impressed with his work tonight. He was in a determined mood. I thought that right from the word go. He's in a new weight division at light heavy, and he said to me earlier on that he's really struggling at super middle. And he says, "Richie, you know what it's like to make weight." He says, "In that last week, it is so difficult. You're having to miss meals here and there, and it's hard, Paul, for all boxers to make weight." But in the last week especially, he was really, really struggling to a degree where he thinks it was affecting his strength. So now he's moved up to light heavy. He's in a comfort zone for now. He's got to fill out a little bit more because obviously he's just getting into it. But yes, I think it is a new start. And it's a good division. And he's certainly, I think he's taken some power up with him, which was always a concern. He'll take the speed, but will he take power? But tonight he showed that he's got plenty of that.
Another of the themes of the night, if you like, here, a big London show, and Buglioni and one or two of the other boys who've been working in other parts of the country, now basing themselves back in London again. It does simplify things, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's good to work in boxing where you're from, and obviously Frank Buglioni sells a lot of tickets. He's a big ticket seller in London, but even Peter McDonough, I think he's from locally around here, Peter McDonough from London, he also sells a lot of tickets, and it's good to see boxers boxing in their hometown and getting bums on seats in professional boxing. That's what the game's all about.
Going back to Buglioni, the last word on him, Richie. Very quickly, he, in terms of marketing, you know, he is the package. Very quickly, he could be rushed into a British title fight or a Commonwealth title fight.
Well, the new champion.
Should they rush him?
Well, he's already fought for a world title, remember? Yeah. So Paul, I remember losing my first world title fight, but the confidence I had of going to the 12th round in a world title fight, I lost my first world title fight, he's lost his, but it gives you a lot of confidence. So yeah, I think he will now probably get into a British title fight sooner rather than later. Hosea Burton is the new champion, he's a good champion, maybe down the line that can be made.
Richie, thank you very much for all your sterling efforts here at ringside at the SSE Arena at Wembley here tonight. Enjoyed your company as ever. Thank you very much for joining us live tonight on Channel 5. We hope very much you've enjoyed most of what you've seen here tonight. The headline, of course, is that Chris Eubank is the new British middleweight champion, but great concern as we go off air tonight for a very valiant opponent, Nick Blackwell, who was hospitalised after he was stopped by Eubank Jr. We bid you good night. All our thoughts are with Blackwell.